Okay, my name is Jim Smith. Today we're looking at the Stoxx Europe 600 Index. It's also called the SXXP, that's the ticker. And we're looking at the square of the low, which might sound a little weird, but what it is in Gann terms, we take the low back here in October of 1992. We draw a Gann fan up from zero, and each one of these lines has importance, but the idea is where it crosses the level of the low is an important inflection point, potentially a trend change. So I've added this red line, dotted line, so you can see that it pretty much caught the high. Now, where the green zero line, the 1 by 2 line, crossed the level of the low, you got another high. And where the 1 by 3 line crossed the level of the low, you got another high, or within a few months. I mean, we don't have to be that accurate when you're talking about a monthly time frame. You give it a couple of months either way. This time it was perfect. This time it was, maybe off by a few months. So you got to keep that in mind. It's not going to be totally accurate, but within a few months it caught the high 1, 2, 3 times. The real question will be what happens when the next line crosses the zero line. When we cross the level of the low back in 1992, it won't be until April of 2022. Now, if it worked 3 times in the past, maybe it'll work again. But keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a high. It could be a low. All it's saying is you're probably going to get a turn in April of 2022. So with that in mind, if you take out the 1 by 1 zero line, for example, now in April it's at 318. It moves up to 320 during the month of May. I've set the, I take it back, it's 1 point, so it'll move up to 319. And in June it's 320. So every month it moves up 1 point. So if it doesn't take it out in the month of April or May, it might take it out in June, might take it out in July. Just have to keep track of this line. So that's an important support line. And the idea is if you bounce off this line whenever it happens, that's a buying opportunity with your stop loss just below it. And if you take it out, then that's a selling opportunity with a likely move down. God knows how low it'll go, but it'll go down into April 2022 if that happens. The alternative explanation would be, hey, maybe you bounce off this line, come back and take out the prior high at around 407. So if that happens, you probably got a reason to buy the market. You'd have a breakout rally and a move up into April 2022. So I'm not here to tell you which way it's going to go. I'm just telling you based on Gann. If you, the things to pay attention to would be the support at this 1 by 1 line whenever it's tested. It's a potential buying opportunity. You can see it bounced here. Took it out a little bit here, but it came back. Now, you might say, well, why couldn't it do that again, take it out and come back? Anything's possible, but this happened much earlier much earlier in the scale of things. If this is a long-term bull market, if you take it out now, it would have more severe consequences because you're at much higher levels than when you were down here. And keep in mind, you sold off quite a lot from this high before you even got to it. This time, you're just basically starting down, and you take it out, you're probably just getting started in a correction. So there's some common sense involved here when you analyze these charts. You can't be rigid in your view. If you take out the high, you probably look for a move higher. If you take out this 1 by 1 line, you look for a move lower. That's all there is to it. And keep in mind, our target in time is more important than price. So if you want to circle that month on your long-term calendar, or leave a note on your iPhone to remind you in April 2022 to look at this market, you're probably going to have a trade. because it'll either rally to a high into that time frame or it'll sell off to a low. Either way, you're going to have a trade.